I'm going to start recording right now so people can watch later if they need to. So the beginning part of the test, you guys are going to have one page, and it's about just under 20 problems. This is all like multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction of positive and negative numbers, including some of the ones where you do have to plug in. Okay, that's really important. Okay, so some of the ones that you have to like plug in for x, those are included too. Okay, so let's try one of those actually. Let's do this one. Let's do 54 over x squared, and you're gonna plug in x equals -3. Pretty sure we've done like this exact one before, so this is the one you're going to try. I don't have a dry erase board tonight. I can't find it, but I've got paper. Paper works just as well. So this is the problem you're going to try. And you know what? While you're at it, let's also plug in, let's also do another one. Let's do -x squared, and let's also plug in x equals -3 in for that one too. Let's just do two problems right off the bat. So again, 54 over x squared for x equals -3, and -x squared, plug in x equals -3. Okay, so these are the two problems you're going to try. Again, if you have any questions at all, just type into the chat window, and I'm sure that'll work just fine. Okay, so far I'm not seeing any questions in the chat window, so while you guys are working on those two problems, I'll give you a few seconds. I'll give you a little bit of an idea what's on your test. You've got 18 problems that are no calculator, and those are all addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of positive and negative numbers. I don't use any real big numbers on there, okay? Like if we're adding and subtracting, it's all reasonable stuff that you should be able to do in your head or writing it out on paper if you need to. And then after that, get to use your calculator the rest of the way. Looks like we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 equation solves, just basic two-step equations like 4x minus 8 equals 30, or maybe some with a fraction like 1/3 x plus 2 equals 5. I'm just making random ones up now. And then you've got two word problems, and they're both very similar ones to ones we've done in class. Okay, and we will go over a word problem later on too. Okay, let's look at the answers for both of these. So what you have to remember is that for the first one, for 54 over x squared, x squared is the same thing as x times x. Okay, so we're going to do -3 times -3 and get 9. Okay, so you should get a positive 9 underneath your fraction. Then do 54 divided by 9, and you get 6. Okay, that's really it for that one. If you wanna actually show the step where you plug in your number, it would look like this. Let me show you exactly what that would look like. It would look exactly like this. It'd be 54 over -3 in parentheses squared. Okay, so here's a simple rule. Anytime you plug in a number for a variable, just put parentheses around it. Okay, so take out the x, put in parentheses -3, and then put the squared in on the outside. Then you won't make a mistake. Okay, so you should get x equals 6. The second one is not the exact same. Okay, so it's -x squared, but -x squared is the same thing as -x times x. Okay, those two are the same thing. You're only squaring the x. That's all you're squaring. Okay, so you're going to multiply -3 times -3 and get 9, but then you've got that extra negative there. Okay, so it's -9. Okay. So, I mean, I think the big thing to remember, and I'm not going to actually make you do this on your test where you have to tell me, is it positive, is it negative, or does it depend? But remember, when you've got those squareds in there, you should be able to figure out the sign right away at the beginning. Okay, there should be no question as to what the sign is, because you're either squaring just x or you're squaring a negative sign and an x, and you should be able to figure it out right at the beginning. If you have a question on that, my suggestion is come in and see me in the morning really quickly, and in like a few minutes I can really quickly tell you this is definitely positive, this is definitely negative, this is definitely negative, this is definitely positive. Okay, you know, and I can tell you what those are, but I mean we've done that in class plenty of times, so hopefully you got that one down. So Flynn asked the question, do the negatives cancel out? Yeah, see, this is the really hard part about this one. It is hard, I will give you that, okay? So negative x squared, it's not a negative times a negative is a positive, okay, because of order of operations. Order of operations, you do this first, just this, okay? So you just do x squared, okay? And then you make it negative. So if we're just squaring whatever x is, we're doing negative 3 times itself, that's 9. Now we bring the negative sign into play. That doesn't happen until after the squaring step. Okay? I honestly think those are probably all of the hard ones on the first page, but I will give you here's another 2 on here that might be hard. I don't know. Let's try something like this. So I'm going to have you do 11 plus negative 3 minus 15 minus negative 17. Okay, so I will hold that up for you and read again. Whee! 11 plus negative 3 minus 15 minus negative 17. There's no multiplication in here. Okay, remember a number next to parentheses would be multiplication. Otherwise, that's not multiplication. Okay, so this is all addition and subtraction. Okay, so just try working this one out and see what you get. Okay, don't use a calculator on this one though. Don't use a calculator because this will be on the no calculator page. Okay. All right. I mean, and again, looking at your test, this is not too bad a one. It will not take you the full period, so you'll have more than enough time to check your work. You will get a little bit of homework tomorrow night. Sorry. With the new schedule, I got to give homework on test nights now. But I will always give very little, and my hope will always be that you have enough time to finish your test, check it over, and finish your homework before you leave the room so you don't really end up having to bring it home. Okay, that's my hope anyway. Okay, so looking at this one, I'm just going to work straight up left to right. 11 plus negative 3 is the same thing as 11 minus 3, so that's 8. So now I've got 8 minus 15 minus negative 17. Then I'm going to do 8 minus 15. 8 minus 15 is negative 7. And then I'm going to do negative 7 minus negative 17. Minus negative 17 is the same thing as plus 17. Negative 7 plus 17 is 10. Okay, I think those are the only real bad ones from the first page. First page should be really good. You just got to really take your time because there's a lot of, you know, I mean, there's just a lot of places you could slip up. Take your time. Make sure you're doing your addition and subtraction right. Like I've had people get ones like negative 14 plus negative 18 wrong just because they don't put 14 and 18 together correctly, or they miss a negative sign or something. So just be really careful. Okay. Moving on, the second page of your test is all solving equations. So I'm going to put 4, I guess. Sure, I'm going to put 4 equations. Nah, 3. 3 is plenty. I'm going to put 3 equations on here just to give you an idea of what you could be in for. So we're going to do negative 2x plus 7 equals negative 5. We're going to do 1/2 x plus 3 equals 1. And we are going to do 3/2 x minus 1 equals 8. And actually, let's make that negative. Negative 3/2 x minus 1 equals 8. So let me show you your 3 equations that we're working on. Okay, these are the 3 we're working on. Negative 2x plus 7 equals negative 5. 1/2 x plus 3 equals 1. And negative 3/2 x minus 1 equals 8. These are the 3 equations I want you to try solving for right now. Okay, I'll hold them up for a few more seconds, and then I'll see if we have any questions. Okay, that's all we have apparently. Flynn asked what the answer is. I'm going to go out on a limb and hope he was asking about the last one. Remember, guys, we're on a little bit of a delay here, so I can't tell exactly when you're asking and how you're asking and what you're asking about. This was our last problem. Should have gotten 10. Okay, and if you missed something in here, guys, it's going to be posted to YouTube and to my USM after we are done. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know that. Okay, and I'll post that link to the main page of my USM right under where the link was for here. Okay, whenever I get that uploaded. So I'll make sure to do that as soon as I can, right after we're done. And we should be hopefully done in about 15 minutes because I don't have too much left after this. I'm going to give you a few more seconds to finish solving these equations. Unfortunately, I don't have any cats to entertain you because my cats are no longer upstairs, and I didn't feel like bringing them up the stairs. They freak out when I bring them upstairs now because they're like, oh, we're not supposed to be here. But you can bask in my Bulls room if you want to look at some cool stuff. That's a Bears jersey. All of you hate that, I'm sure. That's okay. I respect that. But that Bulls logo that's right there, yeah, my wife painted that. By hand, so that was pretty amazing. She painted that for me last year, so I've got a nice little man room up here. Pretty cool. Okay, hopefully I have delayed enough time now. Okay, and I will go through each of these problems. So we're going to start with negative 2x plus 7 equals negative 5. We're going to start with this one. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract 7 from both sides. When I subtract 7 from both sides, I'm left with negative 2x equals negative 12. Okay, that's what I get. I'm subtracting 7. I'm not writing the minus 7 on both sides. I don't necessarily expect you to either, but I know most of you do, and that's great. That's just fine. Okay. Then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And when I divide both sides by negative 2, I get x equals, I almost wrote the wrong sign, positive 6. X equals positive 6. So divide by negative 2, get x equals positive 6. That's not a negative sign. I should really, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to put a big green X through it. There we go. I got a green marker over there too. Positive 6. X equals positive 6. Okay, next one. We've got 1/2 x plus 3 equals 1. Just because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to show you two very distinct ways of doing it. First way, I'm going to do the standard way, which means follow the exact same process as the last one. I subtract 3 from both sides. I'm actually going to show my work this time because I'm showing two different ways. I'm going to show physically what I'm doing as opposed to just saying the steps. Okay, so subtract 3 from both sides. And then I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 because 2 times 1/2 is 1. And I get x equals negative 4. I'm going to show you a completely different way of doing that with my handy-dandy green marker over here. So if we start with 1/2 x plus 3 equals 1, some of you hate fractions so much that you just want them gone right away. So you can multiply everything by 2, but you have to make sure that since there's 3 terms there, you multiply all 3 terms by 2. Okay, so then we get x plus 6 equals 2. Okay, because we have to multiply the 1/2 x, the 3, and the 1 all by 2. And then we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. We get x equals negative 4. Woohoo. Okay. Same answer. That's good news. X equals negative 4, x equals negative 4, either way, so it doesn't matter. This last one, you know what? I'm going to pick a method for this one, but I will show you. I'm going to go with, it doesn't matter which way you do it, okay, as long as you're getting the same answer. I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to, I don't like that fraction, so I'm going to multiply everything by 2 to begin with. It's going to look a little bit different here, so just be careful. I get, I'm leaving this part blank on purpose, so I get a minus 2 and a 16. Think of what you get when you multiply negative 3/2 by 2. If you're not sure what you get, you have a calculator for this portion of the test. So type in negative 3/2 times 2. You get negative 3. Okay, it just cancels out the denominator. So now I get negative 3x minus 2 equals 16. Add 2 to both sides, and I get negative 3x equals 18. Divide by negative 3. And I get x equals negative 6. Cool. Okay. That's pretty much it for the equations page. I mean, yes, there are more than 3 problems. I don't remember how many I said. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 of them, but all of them really fall into one of those categories, okay? Either just, you know, like a number times x minus 2 equals a number, or the ones with simple fractions, or the ones with maybe a little harder fraction in there. But that's really about it, okay? The last page is word problems. So I need to make up a word problem for you guys. Now, I'm not going to write out every nitty-gritty detail, so you're lucky. I'm going to give you basically just the nuts and bolts of what you need, okay? I'm going to go with, I am buying, what am I buying? I'm going to buy golf balls. Okay, really expensive ones, like super, super nice ones. I cannot afford super, super nice golf balls, but let's pretend for a second that I can. Okay. And I am getting these golf balls that are so amazing that they cost $4 per ball. Not $4 for a sleeve, $4 per ball. Okay. Okay, these golf balls cost $4 per ball. And the company I'm ordering from, they always charge a flat fee of $5 for shipping. So it doesn't matter how many of them I order. I could order just one golf ball, or I could order 100 golf balls. Doesn't matter at all. They're just going to charge me $5 for shipping. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to define a variable, meaning, so tell me what x is going to be. Okay, in real life, don't say x is a variable. Okay, just say x represents what in the problem. And I want you to write me an equation for the total cost that I'm going to pay. Okay, so basically what I want you to do is, and it won't be spelled out quite as, it'll be spelled out in more words on the test, but I'm going to make it as easy as I can here. So you're going to write an equation that is basically cost equals what? Okay, and there should be a variable in there somewhere. So write that first. I'll give you like 30 seconds to write that. Okay, so remember what we talked about in class. All of these equations are kind of written the same way in this chapter, so you got to find like a little pattern. Okay, all of them are written as like a number plus a number times x, or a number minus a number times x. Okay, so you just got to figure out, is 4 going to get multiplied by x, or is 5 going to get multiplied by x? And then are we adding them, or are we subtracting them? Okay, so hopefully what you came up with is 5 plus 4x, where x represents the number of golf balls that you're buying. Okay, because you're starting with shipping, you're going to pay $5 shipping, then you're adding $4 times the number of golf balls that you buy. If you flip these two terms around and you had, ooh, that didn't really look good. I don't know. If you flip those two around and you wrote 4x plus 5, that's great. It's the same thing. Okay. So 5 plus 4x is my total cost, okay, in dollars. Now what I want you to do is figure out two different things. If I buy 15 golf balls, I want to know how much that will cost. Again, including the shipping and stuff like that. So how much will 15 golf balls cost? And the other thing that I want to know is if I buy, let's go with a ridiculous number. Let's say that I have $105 to spend on golf balls. My wife has said you can spend $105 on golf balls, but no more. It'd be very nice of her, really. I shouldn't be spending that much on golf balls. But if I can spend $105, how many kind of wrote that a little weird. How many golf balls can I buy for $105? Okay, so these are the two questions. We've got an equation set up now. Cost is equal to 5 plus 4x, where x is golf balls. Here's the two questions I want you to answer. If I buy 15 golf balls, what's the cost of that? And if I spend $105, how many golf balls can I get? Two separate questions. Answer both of those. And if you can answer both of those, you're probably in pretty darn good shape for the test tomorrow, because that's pretty much it. There are two word problems. One of them is very similar to one in your book. I'm I'll even throw it out there. Think taxi. Yeah, I like driving taxis, so maybe there's one very similar to that. And the one that I've given you just now is kind of close to one on there. It's a little bit of a harder problem, but I'm really confident you guys are going to do pretty well if you understand this process. So we'll see how those go tomorrow, but you should be feeling pretty good. If you've been doing really well at this and you kind of understand everything, this has been a nice overview for kind of what that test is going to look like tomorrow or the day after, depending on which group you're in. And if you have additional questions, feel free to, shoot me an email, or, you can, they'll open the school doors for you, about 7:45 or 7:50? That leaves a good 20 minutes to get some questions answered in the morning, should you have a few extra ones. Okay, so if I'm buying 15 golf balls, X represents golf balls, so I'm going to plug in 15 for X. So cost equals 5 plus 4 times 15. Okay, I'm simply plugging in 15 for X. Order of operations says do 4 times 15 first. That is 60. 60 plus 5 is 65. So the cost of 15 golf balls would be $65. So you better get more than 15 golf balls for $105 then, which is our next question. So for the next question, I'm going to plug in 105 this time for cost. And I'm going to leave the X in there. Oops, sorry. 105 equals 5 plus 4x. I'm going to solve that. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And I get 100 equals 4x. Then I am going to divide by 4. And I get x equals 25. Divide by 4, x equals 25. So I get 25 golf balls for $125. It's a terrible deal. I don't know who would pay $4 for a golf ball. That'd be kind of silly. That's it. Okay. That's all I've got for you guys. We are relatively question-free tonight, which is typically a either very good or not very good sign. I don't know. I can't really tell because I can't see the faces you're making and whether you're going, yeah, I got this, or oh boy. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to email me. Stop and see me, 7:45 or later tomorrow morning. That's certainly just fine. I'll be around. If you don't have my class till after recess or until the next day, you've got plenty of time to ask me. But if you don't see me until after recess, you can ask during recess too. But ask questions if you got some extra ones. If not, I feel like if you did the review assignment and are feeling confident about that, and you felt confident doing this, then we should be good. Flynn has requested one last word problem. All right, I'm going to do one more word problem. You squeaked that in the last second here. We're going to do one more word problem, and then I am out. So let's do one more. Let's do a taxi cab problem, because I have a feeling there's going to be a taxi cab problem on your test. Let's say that when you enter, so I'm driving your taxi. When you enter my taxi, it immediately says $2 as soon as you enter. Okay, the meter already says $2 when you enter. Okay, so that's there right away. And then after that, I'm going to charge you $1.50 per mile. Okay, so again, I want you to do three things. I want you to write an equation that says cost equals, okay, and there should be an x in there. Tell me what x means. Then after you do that, for those of you that want to go at this one a little bit quicker and just want to do all the parts, I want you to tell me how much a 10-mile ride would cost. So I need to go 10 miles. I want you to tell me how much that would cost. And the other thing that I want you to do is if I have, let's go with $29. I have $29 for some reason. I had $30, but I spent $1 on a pack of gum or something ridiculous like that. So I have $29. I want you to tell me how far I can get with that. Okay, so I'll hold all that stuff up. Okay, so again, as soon as you enter my cab, it costs $2. It's $1.50. I didn't add the 50, I guess. That's kind of weird. $1.50. $1.50 per mile. I want you to write me an equation that says cost equals, okay, and then it should be like, similar format to the last one. Tell me what X means. Does X represent the number of llamas in the world? Does X represent how many hairs are on my head? What does it represent? Okay, obviously it's none of those things. Then I want you to tell me two things. How much does a 10-mile ride cost? And if I have $29, how far will that get me? $29, how far will that get me? Okay? I'm not going to give you very long to do this one. Okay? And again, if you feel like you missed something or something went too fast, I'll post it onto YouTube and then you can watch things a little bit slower. Hopefully that'll help. And again, I'm available tomorrow morning, after 7:45 or whenever they let you guys in for questions. Okay. So cost, just kind of the way that I'm thinking about this. All right. The way that I would figure out cost is I would take $2 plus $1.50 times the number of miles. So that's the equation I'm going to write. 2 plus $1.50, 1.5. I'm just going to call it X. 2 plus 1.5x. And x is just going to be representative of the number of miles. Okay? A 10-mile ride. Now if I want to figure out a 10-mile ride, well, x represents miles, so I'm going to put in 10 for x. So cost equals 2 plus 1.5 times 10. Ooh, sorry, that didn't fit in real well. So cost equals, oh boy, that's bad. I just got to write it again. I'm going to write it on a different page. So cost equals 2 plus 1.5 times 10. There we go. So I'm plugging in 10 for x. Then I am going to figure out what that is. I'm going to simplify. 1.5 times 10 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. Okay, so the cost of a 10-mile ride would be $17. Last, if I have $29, I'm going to plug that in for cost. So 29 equals 2 plus 1.5x. Okay. And then subtract 2 from both sides. I have 27 equals 1.5x. Subtracting 2 from both sides. And then divide by 1.5. And when I divide by 1.5, I get 18. So it's going to cost $18. That doesn't make sense. What the heck is 20? Am I doing bad math in my head? 27 divided by 1.5. No, that is 18. Did I do bad math up there? It doesn't feel like that was really very right. Okay, yeah, there we go. Boom. $18. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I'm sorry, 18 miles. I'm stupid. No wonder that didn't make sense. 18 miles. Gosh, this is what happens when you record things live and you don't think about them ahead of time. I had that one other problem ready. 18 miles. Wow, I'm solving for x. X is distance. Bad. Bad me. Okay, that's why my answer didn't feel right. Okay, so 18 miles for $29. Okay, that is all I've got for you. Hopefully that helped. If you need more word problems, just look at the practice problems. that are listed under the word problems section. So like look at that little chart. Okay, it's like 1 through, I think I list 1 through 7 odd on page 83. It's a lot of the ones that we did in class. So you can feel free to look at those too, and hopefully that's helpful. Okay, that's it for this. So hopefully this helped a little bit, and good luck on your test. See you guys.